Thanks for tuning in. Alright, let's start with the introduction. Observe a 25-cent coin. You see either the obverse or the reverse side. Both sides of the coin, however, are important. Creating an image, however, for a specific purpose makes no pretense at presenting both sides of the picture, merely one side. The impact from the image is aimed at the ununiformed and the unsuspecting, which certainly included me for a long period of time. Image-making aims to deliberately mislead, coaxing its victims along predetermined paths, often into dangerous and extensive areas. It is my hope that the reader of this book will endeavor to behold two sides of our ideological and political picture affecting important events and find them informative. One side is visible, one side is hidden. People are often fitted with circumstance to combine and produce results for better or for worse. Much is recorded in this book about Franklin D. Roosevelt, his wife, his mother, members of his family, and their entourage. Other well-known world figures are discussed, many of whom I beheld at close range. A number of my observations may surprise some readers. I did not have to research. I was there, as a rule, not just the holder of a seat up front. Hence, certain areas of this book will appear to be at variance with some other books. Back in May of 1933, I wrote an article for a New York magazine called Wall Street and Pennsylvania Avenue. It described how I felt the new Democratic administration, headed by my father-in-law, regarded Wall Street. I had been working for some time in Wall Street, the visible fountainhead of our financial structure in this country. I knew it fairly well. However, not wishing to write an article too critical of the administration, I showed it to a close friend of mine, B.Dall O'Connor, the president's former law partner, inviting his comments about it. Doc, as he was known to me, read it and looking out the window somewhat thoughtfully said, "Kurt, the article is certainly quite interesting, but if you plan to sell it to a magazine, please sell it to me." That observation, with no reflection upon my budding literary talents, clearly indicated that he regarded it as far too critical of the new administration, particularly coming from me, a relative of the chief executive and an informed source. Startled, I said, "Okay, Doc, if that's your reaction, Wall Street and Pennsylvania Avenue will never be published." And it wasn't. I tore it up. That conversation took place in Doc's office at 120 Broadway, New York, 33 years ago, a span of time. In the interim, numerous important events have occurred, some holding a deep meaning for all of us. Numerous leading figures referred to herein have passed on into the great beyond. In retrospect, we should bear in mind what is past is prologue for today. The American people are not reared and trained to become international-minded schemers. As a result, we have become the ready victims of those who have been reared and steeped in that type of training. In addition, as a people, we are too inclined to hedonism, deeply absorbed in the program of pleasure. Toward that end, we are being encouraged and daily molded by our foreign-influenced press, radio, and TV programs. We are encouraged to become absorbed in the trivial, for obvious reasons, by dedicated world planners. Many of us are prone to feel our political status, even our freedom and our liberty in the USA is secure. But along with that great amateur internationalist, Woodrow Wilson, we took our perilous seat in 1913 on his nefarious political toboggan, and we are now nearing the bottom of that disastrous run. Then came another disastrous toboggan run with F.D.R. and his successors. Where do we go from here? Let us not fool ourselves. The wealth, freedom, and liberty of the American people are being stolen and steadily nibbled away. Today, as easy suckers, we are buying many overpriced political benefits, all paid for, of course, with our own hard-earned money. We have also been goaded into trying to run the affairs of other nations, which yields a fine profit for the world money powers who are in the know on credits and markets. Whether you realize it or not, that has all been planned for you in just that way. Furthermore, our land has been and is being flooded with vast numbers of image-making books, carefully written about numerous important citizens in public life, which aim to further certain long-range international policies. False images and managed news, however, will soon lead to the destruction of a free people if we allow it. We means you and me. It is for you, primarily, that this book has been written. In the 30s, the image makers unveiled the word isolationist for their self-serving purposes